Domani, welcome to Georgia Followers. We appreciate having you.
Man, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. I mean, you got a lot of things going on right now. So, number one thing is we want to definitely tell you we appreciate your time because we know you're on tour right now, and you just became a father.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Big moment. How you
Yeah.
feeling?
Amazing,
Okay.
Not gonna lie. People ask me how does it feel. It's kind of hard to explain, man. I know the biggest thing is just I'm always excited to come back home. You know, just ready to like when is this gonna be done? Like I want to make sure I'm spending my time and not wasting my time, spending it in the right areas, ready to get back home. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know. I don't have kids, but I do know people who've had kids. Obviously, having that newborn is like it's so precious. Like,
Yeah.
you want to be there like 24/7. You want to
You
make
do.
sure they doing fine all around the clock. So have you had those wake up in the middle of the night moments yet? You had those big.
All the time.
All the
Wake up in the
time?
middle of the night, milk. So if you got a newborn like fresh,
Yeah.
they need some milk like every 2 hours at least. So it's like when you sleeping, you know.
Yeah.
And that's just if they're hungry.
Okay.
Sometimes they still gonna cry if they just want to be held or they need a diaper change. So it's kind of hard to get some sleep.
Now, this is, I want to be sure, you just became a father. This is your only kid you have, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Just wanted to be sure. But like I said, you got a lot going on. You're on tour right now. Obviously, you're on tour with K Camp for the Kiss 6 tour.
Yeah.
How did you and K Camp come about? Did y'all already have a relationship? How did that come about?
Man, that's a great question. I don't remember exactly how we like exchanged information and started talking, but I know we've been had each other number for probably over 4 or 5 years. And every time we see each other, we always say we need to get in. We need to get in. And one day we actually got in. I ain't gonna lie, we got in and we realized we had a good chemistry. And shortly after that, he was going on tour. So it was like it's a no-brainer, man. Let's go on tour together. So I guess that's how it happened.
Nice. Yeah, and now Georgia Falls, we're big fans of K Camp too.
Yeah.
We have him on the platform as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know, like, even when you were talking with K Camp, and I know that's usually how it works with a lot of artists. You get the contact. You know, if y'all happen to cross paths or stay in touch, y'all kind of make it happen when y'all do. But did you, number one, were you a fan of K Camp? And then two, do you feel your music blends with K Camp? Because I feel it does, but I wanted to know how you feel.
Fan of K Camp, yes, for sure. Like his music, K Camp is a part of Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? I would put him there with the Rich Kids, Thug, Future. Like I don't, and that's maybe from the outside looking in, people not really knowing Atlanta or being in Atlanta. Maybe that'll sound crazy. Hopefully not. But he's in that same situation. So yeah, I've grown up hearing his hits on the radio and seeing his music go viral, whether that's on TikTok or Instagram. Like, so it's like definitely commend and respect all his hard work. He's been working for 10 plus years, maybe 15, 20 actually. So that's crazy. And I feel like our music does blend together just because of his melodic sound. And some people say I have a melodic sound. And I think that blends well, whether he's singing and I'm rapping or us both taking turns switching. It really doesn't matter, but I think it matches together perfect.
Yeah, and I have to agree with you because I think another aspect I think people might see is that both of you guys are consistent with dropping your music. Like you're not stuck on this like, let me build this character out or let me go missing for this amount of time. Like you guys stay, it seems like you guys are focused on keeping your core audience engaged with you and you're not just dropping tracks based on the climate.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like that consistency from y'all.
Appreciate it, man.
Now I'm gonna move just a little back and forth between some of the questions. I wanted to know, you were in your first film last year.
Yeah.
Or first film that I might have saw you in, The Water Boys.
Right. Yeah, The Water Boys.
And that was here in Atlanta featuring, Lala, Quavo, rock, and more. So how did that come about, and how was that experience for you?
That experience, man, I just love just creating and tapping into another, like just any art form, and really giving it 110%. So acting has definitely been something I always wanted to take on and dive into, and this was an opportunity. It was a perfect opportunity, and I kind of had like a little break, like where I could really focus on this and give it what I feel like it deserved. So man, it was beautiful. It's definitely an art form, and I was just more concerned with not disrespecting it. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to make sure I had the time. I wanted to make sure I was actually able to dive into it like how I feel like I should, and I think I gave it my best shot.
Now, is there any type of, I know we talk about like in the acting where they talk about typecast or a certain character. Do you think you have in your mind what's like the best character you think you could play, or portray, or who or what that
best
might be?
Character. That's a good one, man, because I gotta say, I feel like if I could understand the perspective, and I'm a perspective-driven person, if I could understand the perspective of any individual, I could do any role, because everyone has a perspective. Even the supervillain, it makes sense in his head somehow. He has a perspective, you know what I'm saying? So I think because I'm so perspective-driven, I could do any role.
Okay, let's talk about that more, because I like that. That's kind of a first I've heard worded that way. When you say perspective driven, you mean like, like most of the time when you converse with people and or you're just kind of deep in thought, you try to see things from both angles,
right?
Even if you disagree. Is
exactly.
that more so what it is?
100%.
Okay, got you.
Because like you said, even if I disagree, like they got an angle. They got an angle as well. Like it makes sense somehow in their way, whether that's their upbringing, their childhood, what happened that day, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, if I could understand that, I could play any role, and it's a beautiful thing, because that's still me expressing myself, even if it's through someone else. It's me still expressing myself that way.
And I'm assuming as a fan, like you having that perspective-driven kind of thought process about yourself, as Domani the person, that is reflected in your music as well, because you probably write and produce your music that way. Like you give it from both sides. Is that true? Is that kind of goes into your creative process?
Yeah, man, because people ask me all the time, like, where do I draw my inspiration? My answer is, man, that it could be from anywhere, honestly, because everything's perspective. It just, if I don't feel like I have nothing to express, like who's in the room with me, like who am I thinking about? I'm doing myself and others a disservice if I feel like it's nothing for me to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not always about me. I'm not digging deep enough. Like the perspective of these walls and these four walls in this room. These four walls have seen a lot of stuff. That's not even a person. It's like, what has these four walls seen?
Absolutely.
That's a unique perspective. It's always an angle to look at something.
And for me, and as I hear you talk, I know from being a fan of yours, is like you don't like the comparisons, but most people do obviously bring up J. Cole, right? But why do you think they bring that up in the sense of style? Obviously people got to know there's another version of you out in this world.
Yeah.
You may know him or you may not, but why do you think people even bring that up about you?
Man, and it's not that I don't like it. I understand it. Why, you said, why do I think?
Yeah, why do you think people associate you with J. Cole? Like, why is that their go-to?
Just off rip, just off looks. That's one thing.
Okay.
We both light skinned. We both got locks.
Okay.
They both look like we don't care about our locks. Like we don't care about sometimes our outfit. He probably think he fly sometimes. I be thinking I be fly. Like right now, I think I'm fly right now.
Yeah, I mean, no glazing. You are fly, bro.
No glaze detected. It's like, but shoot, man, and just my morals, I feel like, and what people probably feel like his morals are, I feel like a line. And like I said, I'm perspective driven. I'm understanding, and I think he's the same way. If you sit down and have a conversation with him, I've sat down and had a conversation and be like, yeah, I'd say the same thing. And then sometimes I tell him something, he'd be like, I was just about to say that, or I was just about to do that. Okay. And I'm glad you told me that, and I could tell you this before you think I'm copying you. So it's just like, I don't know, we kind of just think the same sometimes, you know?
Yeah, I can get that, and I think as a casual, I listen to a lot of music, and I get real deep into the music just as much as an artist. I just don't go to the booth and make it. But I think with rappers, like I think a lot of as fans, we forget that when somebody's not in character, the artist like J. Cole or somebody or like Domani is a true reflection of what a person is. You know, they're not playing this character.
That's a big thing, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're not playing this character of, oh, I'm shooting or I'm doing this. They're playing the character of like, no, they're a human giving their experiences.
I never thought about it like that. So,
you know? And
so quote unquote, that's his and our character.
Correct. Yeah, your character.
The character is no character.
Correct. Yeah, character is no character. Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because the perspective, like when we listen to things, I was just talking about this with Pop the other day. I'm like, normally the success rate of most artists most of the high success rate in artists is because they played characters throughout their careers.
Right.
Like, you know, you think about Kanye. Like, he's played a character. He started off as this college dropout.
Right.
To Yeezus, to, you know, whoever he is now. But there's some type of fall off to each character. And I hate to mention this, but I have to. R. Kelly was good at playing characters. Like,
that wasn't even, I was young.
Yeah, right, okay. So it wasn't, but he was good at having hey, I'm the real slow R. Kelly, then I'm TP2, then I'm Chocolate Factory. You know, even your dad, you know, even T.I. Like T.I. went from, you know, I'm a trapper, South Trap, then I'm the businessman. Right? And then I'm, you know, right, then I'm family man. Then it's like, you know, character is what kind of builds careers. And,
right.
I think that's, so having that perspective is what I was kind of getting towards with you. It's like, do you think Domani will have a new character soon in the future, or do you think there's something you want to jump into? Like, man, I feel like Willie Nelson now. Now I want to be Willie Nelson music style type thing.
Right. I mean, that's tough to say because I'm not doing something. I feel like if it don't feel like that's me.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people will compromise just based on other things, but I feel like a lot of times I'd say I wouldn't do that though. And it might mess up the whole production, but it's just like, I wouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't even come off right. People would know. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And I've said that a lot of times. So it's hard to say what I would and would not do. It's just based on just that feeling right there and knowing me. I think a character is easier to spot the more consistent you are. You know what I'm saying? So if you're all over the place, like, all right, so let's say like Snoop Dogg.
Okay.
His character is like just doing a bunch of side missions. You know what I'm saying? Like just the cool uncle, like Uncle Snoop now. And he smokes weed everywhere he go. That's kind of like his character. But I don't know, man. Who's to say? I think it's based on, I feel like I sound like my dad just then too. But
nah, you know. His perspective. He's perspective driven too.
Yeah.
So
not talking about when I was just like, who's to say?
Oh.
That's definitely some.
Who's to say?
But man, I don't know. It's just how I feel and what I think makes sense with me. You know.
Now I like talking to you because you can understand deeper talks about like how musicianship works, but then also how the person behind the music works.
Yeah.
And I had this question coming in, like I said, well, I think Domani kind of, you know, has that more down to earth attitude about himself and his demeanor, because I think if he doesn't feel close enough to himself, then he'll rap and produce music as if he's the kid of a rap legend. Is that, what would you think about that opinion?
You said if I didn't know myself?
Like, well, not didn't know yourself. Let me put it in the easier terms. I said Domani's kind of style and his demeanor is who he is, but it separates you from being like, oh, this is T.I.'s son, this is why he's famous. So
Oh
I
yeah.
think like for you, my question is like, do you feel like there's something yearning inside you to have more of a natural uh, lifestyle to connect to your music, or do you feel you get some of that from being the son of, you know, a rap legend?
Right. I feel like that's a great question too. I ain't never had no one put it like that. I would say that comes from just my life and the balance and the different. I'm gonna keep you probably the word perspective. The different
That's
perspectives that I done seen, like staying with my mom and then staying with my father and then just bouncing around over the two. I think that has a lot to do because if I was just on one side, I would be leaning more towards that side. You know what I mean? But because I see the flip side of each, I think that's what kind of had me asking more questions and kind of led me to figure out more and realize more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So maybe that's why someone could say I'm down to earth. Maybe it's, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, cause and I think from the outside looking in, right? I don't know you, right? Like I don't know you deeply, and I know you from what you present, right? It's just as myself. So I think like from a fan side, we think about like we think there's this lifestyle because we see rapper kids that are not successful or they try to rap and they're not successful, and here you are, you're probably one of the unicorns of kids, you know, that actually has built a lane for themselves. So I think it's easy for us to see it like, you know, I see it from the perspective of like you yearn for that more natural state so that you can create and develop versus like, hey, I'm just the son of a rap legend. I could do this too and get a little clout off of it. So maybe that's a statement and not a question for you.
Man, I don't know. Anybody could do anything they put their mind to.
That's absolutely correct.
I would hate to say someone wanted it more than the other.
Yeah.
But I know you could do anything you put your mind to, for sure. Let me see. I really just love this stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I really just, I use music as a way to genuinely express my thoughts, my feelings, and to communicate with others sometimes. Sometimes I don't say much in person. So it's like, but I really wanted to say, okay, here's where I said. Like imagine if you couldn't speak, you know what I'm saying? The only way you could speak is through a saxophone. You would probably say a lot through that saxophone and like do some things people probably ain't never seen a saxophone player do. That's just, maybe that got something to do with it, but I really express myself and communicate through my music and just creating in general.
So, and I know you talk about your mom and dad side. Which side were you touching more on, like, I'm going into music?
That's tough. That's a tough one.
Because everybody would assume.
Everyone would assume my father.
Correct, and that may not be it.
But it's like, maybe I was like, Mom, we need to go on some vacations. How am I gonna do this? Shoot, I gotta turn up with the music. So it's like each side, and maybe me seeing it happen on my father's side gave me the understanding that it's possible, and this is how it could happen. This is how it looks. What if I did that and brought it over here and did the same thing? So I really don't know, man.
Okay. Now I'm gonna pull from some of the questions I had typed up. So there's quite confidence in how you move both musically and personally. How do you think you've grown as an artist over the last few years?
Yeah, okay. I will say knowing, I have a better understanding of knowing when to think and when not to think. You know? Because I feel like most artists are overthinkers. We gonna overthink. But it's like, man, don't get in the way of the music. You know what I'm saying? I think I have a better understanding of that. So after I make the music, in my head I say it's not about me. It's not about me no more. I already expressed myself. I done did what I wanted to do, what I needed to do. Now I know I gotta get in the way. I gotta get out the way of it. You know what I mean? Allow it to reach the people that need it or want it. Allow it to grow into what it can grow into and not put my own flaws, fears to stagnate that growth. You know, I feel like I have a better understanding of that now than I did 5 or 10 years ago.
Now, do you personally now? Is there something you purposely do to draw creativity from? Like, is there stuff that you purposely do to draw? Like, hey, some rappers back in the day and still today, I'm gonna go to the club so I can draw from that, or I'm gonna go to my family and visit my family for a month. Like, what is Domani like? What do you pull from?
Man, the only thing I can think of right now is lately I've been writing in the car, like driving, or sometimes I'll be at the studio, hear a beat that I want to get on, and I'll send it to my phone, and I'll say I'll be back, and I'll go sit in the car. And I'll be right outside the studio, but I'll be in the car, just listening to the music from the car speakers. I feel like that gives me more inspiration. And but lately it's been the car, man. Everything that sounds good to me in the car, I feel like it's easier for things to come from that.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, most of the time, I would still think most music now is still played through the car.
Yeah.
And through the AirPods,
Exactly.
while you're driving. So do you kind of do it thinking of that perspective too from the fan?
That's crazy that you said that, because it's either me going to the car, or if I'm working with someone, I don't want to just go all the way to the car and then they think I left. So I would just put my AirPods in. So it's either me going to the car or me putting my AirPods in.
I like that. So when you working with other artists, are you I feel, because you said I like the perspective driven. We can keep that as a tagline going. Like, are you the email verse artist, or are you the real natural encounter building that energy in person type artist? Which one?
You sound like send my verse over?
Yeah, like I feel like sending verses over, I don't know. I would assume, dang, like when they wrote this song, they was in the studio together, but most of the time it's an email. Which one do you have a preference, or which one do you like?
All right, so I would say the most comfortable way for me to do it, and that's just for me thinking about that the other artists. The most comfortable way is me sending my verse, for sure.
Okay.
But that's because a lot of times we be in our own head. Like, I don't want them to think, dang, do he not like it? Dang, did he leave? Is he stepping out? Like, how long is this gonna take? Like, you know what I mean? Because I don't know sometimes how long something will take if it's coming from a real place. I want to really give it what I feel like it deserves. So that's the only reason I will say. But if an artist understands and I say, let me step out for a minute, let me write this, whoop de whoop. If they understand that, then for sure. That's just nothing but chemistry and knowing who you're working with. But from what I learned the last 5-10 years, I got to get out the way of the music. So what I'm not gonna do is turn down an opportunity because I'm gonna say just send it to me. Not gonna do that.
Yep.
That's what I would rather be most comfortable doing. But nah, we still gonna create, and I'ma just have to be uncomfortable. That's what I learned in the last 5-10 years. I'm not gonna get in the way just because of my fear of how they may think or what may not happen. I'ma still see what's gonna come from it.
Now, how is the writing process for you? Is it notes, memos, pen to paper?
Yeah, it's usually me writing it down in my notes.
Okay.
In my phone.
Okay. And then, so let's say I booked Domani for a show. What's on your rider?
What's on my actual rider? Fruit, water, toothbrush, toothpaste. I always brush my teeth. Well, I always brush my teeth after I eat, but after I go on stage too, I brush my teeth. That's the main thing. That's usually it, for real. Yeah.
So nothing crazy like separating the M&Ms colors by colors or nothing.
Man, none of that. Nothing crazy. But that's literally my writer though.
Okay. I like that. Now, I know you talked about like listening to music in your car, or listening to your AirPods and being in your car. Is kind of where that's your domain, sometimes. But I want to know, and I know you said, you kind of get the feel of what it's like being in the fan seat, listening to some music. But are there certain songs that hit different when you perform them live versus you recording them? You know, like when you hit that stage, and you record it or you're in the car, you're like, oh, this slap.
Yeah.
And then when you get on stage and you perform it and you look for that, have you had those moments where it's like, dang, it was a total contrast?
Like it didn't translate the
Yeah,
way
it
that I
didn't
thought it would?
translate the way that you thought?
Yeah, because as a up and coming artist, you gotta be delusional enough to think like every song they gonna be able to sing word for word, or they gonna go crazy with this one. That's what keeps a lot of people going. Like, bro, they gonna go crazy. This the one. So like, you gotta be delusional enough to think that, and have to see if that plays out on stage. So yeah, that's done happened a lot of times, and that's just because a lot of people don't know my music or have not known my music. Like if I was opening up for someone, I'm performing in front of that artist crowd. You know what I mean? Like these people aren't my crowd. Like these not my fans. They didn't come here for me. That's been a lot of times. So it's like it probably didn't translate how I thought it would in my head. But when I get my crowd, which I have been doing lately, man, like yesterday, or was it the day before, I was in Chicago. Mm-hmm. It was like this 10-year-old boy in the front row, and he was like kind of chilling, vibing out the whole show until I had performed this song called Sleep It Off. Mm-hmm. Sleep It Off. He heard that, and man, I seen that he knew the words, so it's like we going back and forth, and then bro just started bawling. He just started crying like he felt every single word. And I'm like, while I'm performing it, I don't know how this song is translating to him.
Yeah.
Because I know what this song is about, and I'm like, I can't really see how, you know what I'm saying? But this man really was so passionate and crying.
Yeah. And
going word for word with that song, and it kind of, the only thing I can say was, man, this music stuff is crazy. This stuff is powerful.
Nah, yeah, you talk about powerful. Like, the fact about you is that you did grow up in a house of music.
Yeah.
So, you know, how is that now? Like, how are those? Because I can imagine you've seen a lot of crowds of people jamming to music from the kid perspective, from teenage perspective, now from Domani, the artist perspective.
Yeah.
Like, how does that cloud your reaction when you look at the crowd? Is there any new way that you look at the crowd? Because you've been seeing those big crowds, I would assume, almost, you know, your whole life, seeing those big crowds, enjoying music that you necessarily didn't make, and then getting to a point now where they are. Like, is it a difference from just being seeing those live crowds, like seeing that little boy?
Yeah,
you know?
Totally a difference. It's a major difference. I would say me and a lot of people, but me, I didn't really understand what it took, how much work needed to be done to have a crowd here that came out of their way to pay for a ticket. They probably took off work. They probably got kids, had to find a babysitter, sitting in traffic, like to come here and sit and wait on you to come on stage. You know what I mean? Be around people they don't know.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? It's a lot of factors that come into play. They came to see you. So maybe that didn't help, because I was like, this is normal. You know what I'm saying? If I'm growing up seeing my father or the OMG girls or the rich kids, shout out to God, bringing in these people, you know what I mean, not really being around because I'm in school, seeing all the work that these artists is doing, I'm just seeing like this is normalized in my head. Like, this is just a lot of people come out after you put out music. What? So maybe that didn't help. Maybe it did a disservice. But unless we're talking about like seeing how true and seeing how possible it was to do it. But nah, man, it take a lot of work, and to really have people come out and support you, I say that's the difference.
Okay, I like that. Now, if we talk about other artists, like, are there any collaborations you still are wanting? And for the collaborations you are wanting, can you name a few that you really want, that you really would like to work with, as far as artists?
Yeah, I just love music, man, that I can vibe with. So it's not like people that I'm just not willing to work with. I will say, I could say Summer Walker. I could say Giveon. This just off the top of my head.
Yeah, yeah.
JID, J-I-D. Dang. I think I might drop. I mean, just the obvious people. Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, okay.
J. Cole.
Okay.
But a lot of people ask me that about J. Cole, and I be thinking like that. People don't see what he's done like behind the scenes. He don't owe me a verse. You know what I'm saying? I'd be cool if we didn't do no music.
Okay.
Just him seeing me as a kid and saying, "Yeah, man, take my number down." I was like, and then us like building a relationship from that.
Right.
And him actually going out his way, trying to connect me with people and get me on his festival or say, ask me about this and give me his perspective. The man has helped me a lot. So, but just because I like music, these are the people that I would want to do music with.
I mean, how? I mean, I guess maybe you're not. Were you nervous, kind of approaching J. Cole? Like after you got his number, hitting him up, like how was that? Did you expect the reception to be that?
Was I nervous? Yeah, definitely nervous. But it's like, man, I when you want something, it's just like, man, it's already kind of a blur. Your wants and your desires is driving you. You know what I'm saying? And you kind of don't have time to really react if you want it that bad. So, yeah, man, I just ran into him and the passion of music started speaking. Like, hey, man, let me play some music. And then, we exchanged information, and just the passion of music led me to send him some music and talk about music. So it's like, yeah, I'm nervous, but that's what I love to do.
Now, I didn't hear you mention one artist you would want to collab with, Buddy Red.
Yeah, we got some music. You said you didn't hear that?
No, I didn't hear you say
we got music.
Y'all got music already together. Okay.
For sure.
Got you. Now.
And my brother King.
Yeah.
We got music.
So when you working with them, how are you able to step away from being related to them, being siblings, or are you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, man. It's like a painting. It's like a painting, man. It's just like, shoot, what you want to add to it? You know what I mean? Okay, go ahead. That look cool. Can I add this right here? It's just simple as that. We all love music, and I feel like we all take turns allowing each other to add what we feel like will be dope to us.
Now you talk about the passion music. You did a lock-in series. Tell us about that.
Yup, that was fire. I'm trying to figure out where to do it again, but I ran into this lady. She's a fan, and she's been to like a lot of my shows, and I guess she got a chance to meet me, and she said, you know what? I want to sit in a studio session with you. I want to see your actual process. And instead of me ignoring that or me just like, I don't know, I actually started thinking about it. And I said, damn, probably other people want to see it too. So she inspired the lock-in, what I called it. And that's me renting out a studio. I did it for 12 hours, So renting out a studio and allowing people to RSVP, to sign up. Anyone could come through and see whatever we record. See what, in that case, it was a whole project, an EP, and they seen it live. They got to really see me record it live. And that's the whole lock-in, man. I just allowed everyone to come and see the process.
That's hard. I've seen Jay-Z do that on a couple promo runs.
For real?
Invite like a certain, probably like from fan clubs. They probably source people from fan clubs and invite them in to kind of like do lyrical breakdowns and or hear music. Kind of like, it's probably the same thing as staging a listening session for insiders or something like that. That's pretty dope, though. I thought that was a dope concept. That's something you're gonna do again, or you gonna keep doing?
I see it getting bigger. I see it being like as big as getting a venue, and it's like I'm on stage and everyone see me create some stuff.
Yeah.
And like I'm telling everyone, y'all gotta be quiet, okay? When I record this, y'all can talk, but y'all gotta be quiet right now. Like I see it getting that big.
And trying to stay quiet to that much people, and they got this thing inside where they're like, no, this is my favorite
Right.
artist. I'm here.
Or they might say something and it get recorded into the track.
Oh,
They gonna love that.
That'd be fly.
But but yeah, man, I think it's dope, and I see it getting bigger.
Okay. Now, I'm going to go back to, because I think you might have a good answer for this, is what's some of the last books you read, or if you haven't read any, what would you recommend folks to read or follow you along with reading?
Yeah, man, I've been slacking, man, for real.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with that.
I've been slacking. I would say the books that I'm most proud of is The Way of the Superior Man. I feel like I read that in one sitting. It's like I needed that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that junk was it did something for me. And if you're into music, I would say All About the Music Business. It's a book called Contagious that talks about marketing. And I think I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How you choose your books? Like, what's on your? How do you get that time? Is that something like you go to Barnes and Nobles every now and then, or people recommend books to you?
Yeah, people just say you should read this.
Okay.
And it's usually people that I trust, and I say, all right, I'm gonna dive into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I want to ask about, like, because you talk about somebody being a casual fan of you, but let's talk about the opposite of that. If somebody's never heard Domani's music before, what's the one track you want them to hear first, and why that one?
Man. The one track that's tough, because I usually always pick the wrong music, man. I might like a song just because of the angle I recorded it from, and like the listener will never understand that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, dang, I could just have to think of the feedback from people telling me, like, this is when I discovered you, and this is what, that song did so much for me. I would say a song called I'm Not Ready.
Okay.
So this is not me. This is from the feedback I heard from fans.
Okay.
And I'm Not Ready. Sleep It Off. Forever Lasting. And Henny and Crystals. Yep.
Okay. Nice. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I wanna lean more into just talk about like trends and kind of culture now. Like, is there a trend that's happening right now? You may not necessarily, let's not go with liking, but is there a trend right now that you don't understand? Just a trend as far as slang or something that's being done? Is there something out there that you just see and you like, I just don't understand that? I know there's certain trends, like I would say YN has become a trend.
I'm gonna say hating. Just hate comments, hate messages. I don't really understand that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I don't get it, man. I grew up saying if you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all.
Right.
And it's like you don't know what these people going through. You don't know why they doing what they doing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you criticizing, critiquing, and saying bad stuff to a person in front of a room full of people. It's like, you know what I mean? If you really want to help, say, can I talk to you for a minute?
Yep.
DM them.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Direct message them. Why would you say it in the comments? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you really want to help. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I never understood that.
Do you read the comments?
For a certain period of time, because sometimes I may misspell something, and someone would tell me like, "Hey, you spelled whoop wrong," or "It's not on the website. Where is it?" And I gotta go and I thank you. So now I gotta go and fix it. But after that, and after I know everything is right, nah, man, I go about my day.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now I actually do read the comments because a lot of people, they just keep on referring to like, obviously you being T.I.'s kid. So like. Yeah. When people say that, or they say like, what do you think about that? How have you kind of mastered, people already having that notion about you, that presumption about you?
So I just didn't referring to me as that,
yeah,
and
just
only
referring
that?
to you as like, oh, it's Domani as T.I.'s son. It's not nothing past that. It's like they don't know Domani as the artist. Like, how do you respond to that?
I just got a lot of work to do. I take that as it's work for me to do, because I haven't reached them. you know.
Okay. Now can I ask you a few questions about your dad, just kind of from your perspective? Like, which one of his albums or music, it could be a song or an album, kind of really inspired you? Like, dang, like this is the moment I knew my dad was that, that nigga.
Dang, okay. That's okay. I'm gonna say probably Paper Trail, and T.I. versus T.I.P. And that's just because I feel like I was old enough to really see what was going on. Like when he recorded some songs from Paper Trail, I was actually in the studio. I've been in the studio with him a lot, but I recall me being in the booth with him while he's recording certain lines and him saying, y'all gotta be quiet, you know what I mean? We laughing because he's yelling, doing ad-libs and stuff, making gunshot sounds, and we in the booth like chuckling as little kids.
Wait, what sessions were you in?
Man, I don't know, man. But it's the Paper Trail album.
Paper Trail, okay.
At that time, I believe he recorded that right before he got locked up. So right before he was on house arrest. Yeah. So he couldn't go and record nowhere else. So he recorded in the house. So it's like we was there a lot of the times. And I was there because I would sit in the studio while the kids playing. And I would sometimes fall asleep in the studio. So I seen a lot of Paper Trail being recorded as much as I was able to see. But I don't know which songs, man.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah. But I say Paper Trail, T.I. versus T.I.P. And songs where he would name the kids and the family members. I'd be like, oh, dang, that's us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Millions of people listening to that. Like, God dang. And he'll perform it. Like, Side King, Deja Domani. We're like, whoa.
So, now, this is a past time that you're talking about, like, but how was that experience for you when you saw your dad kind of going through his troubles at that time? How was that experience for you?
I was too young to really, like, know what's going on. And it wasn't, like, really getting to me or becoming something that I could understand until after it all happened. I got a little bit older. And I started realizing, like, yeah, these people were saying this, and this is... And they was doing this when this was going on. It's like, I said in one of my songs, a teacher ended up talking about my dad being locked up while I was in school. And I was like, I'm a kid. But then when I got older, I'm like, what made you say some junk like that? You know?
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird. So she talked about like, she was like breaking the news to the classroom or something?
It was more like a comment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Understood. Now, I do, I think I might have missed this question when your dad was here after the interview. And we wanted to know, kind of, do you feel Still Ain't Forgave Myself is underappreciated as in hip hop, as one of those top songs?
His catalog in general, man, that's a very good song. His whole catalog in general is just underappreciated, and that's because he don't really care to show light. You know what I mean? He don't care about the people that don't know. You know?
Okay.
He don't care to say this is what this was, and this is what I did. He don't care at all. And his whole catalog, people don't know until, let's say there was a versus, and you hear all the back to back. Or if you in the club with him. You in the club, like, cause when he goes to the club, the DJ gonna play all his hits, a snippet of all his hits, saying, "Oh, we got Tip in the building." Bro, he's playing hits for an hour in the club.
Yeah, a lot of them. He has a lot.
30-minute snippets for an hour, it seems like, in the club, hits. You're like, God dang, Tip. So it's like, he just don't care to show light on it. But his whole catalog, I feel like, people don't really know unless they was there.
And I think T.I. obviously multi-talented, right? So he has so many other areas he's in. I think he doesn't. That's a good point you made. Like, he doesn't care about the people who don't know, because I don't see T.I. as like a legacy act yet. I don't see him as like, and then no disrespect, I don't see him as like a Nelly, somebody that's that's literally toured their music
I
like
love Nelly.
forever. Yeah, we
Yeah.
love Nelly, right? But he kind of he's falling into that legacy act. Like, when he comes,
Yeah.
that's
Okay,
his
I see what
thing.
you're saying.
Like T.I. doesn't do that
Yeah.
a lot. When you catch him performing, it's every so often.
Right.
So that's a good point you made. Now that I think about it, he doesn't do that, and
Yeah.
he can do it so easily.
He can.
He can do it so easily.
He don't necessarily care.
Okay.
Yeah, he be having so much that he's interested in outside of that.
Yeah.
He don't care, and that's what I feel like. That's the reason.
So I gotta ask you this: do you think your dad funny?
Yeah.
You think he's natural funny or comedian funny?
What's the difference?
I don't know.
Most people-
I feel like some people are naturally, like, I believe myself in real life. I'm a naturally funny person.
Right.
I don't think I could get on no stage and be funny though.
Okay, so when you say natural, like me, and I feel like a lot of the family feel like he was funny before he even thought he was funny or wanted to get on stage and be funny.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
If that's what you mean by naturally funny.
Okay. Well, you're saying that your dad, him being funny to y'all, it translated. Y'all saw an easy translation to the stage for that as well.
Nah, you saying naturally. It's naturally like we thought he was funny way before he wanted to be a comedian or be funny on stage. Yeah, we thought he was funny. Now, it may be a transition for him to do that on stage.
Okay.
Cause that's an art form in itself that I feel like he's been dedicated 100% into that. And but yeah, I definitely do believe he's naturally funny.
Now, jumping around in your family about King. I know King has been in the news for some things that's been controversial, and he's been in the news just kind of, he always has his face out there. I see him streaming sometimes. He hangs around Boosie's son a lot. So, like, what's you and King's relationship like? Like, I know you talked about giving him advice and kind of wanting people to know more about him as a person, because that's not who he is as people think. Like, what's your relationship like with King, and is there any, like, brother advice you still give to him as he's going along his journey?
Us both. Like, King be knowing some stuff though. King knows some stuff, just like I know some stuff, and we both gonna tell each other what we know. And I feel like it may look like it's a lot of me explaining it, because sometimes it don't come off the right way, and I may know like what he's trying to say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
then it's like somebody asked me, and I'm like, yeah, he's trying to say this, but nah, man, King is a very smart individual, and I think a lot of people seen him do certain things, and just like we've all done as kids, and they built a character around him, and it's like, so a lot of the times people do try him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you gotta know the energy you putting out into the universe. You know what I'm saying? Cause I would say maybe that's a lot of the stuff that I be saying or Pops be saying, but he definitely has a reason a lot of the time, cause people do be trying him, whether that's when he was in school because he's smaller than a lot of other people, and you may be fresh. It was just fresh little kid, small, got all the girls. Sound like someone gonna be trying him. Yeah. So it's like he probably had to, like, and be this person. Like, we don't know. We didn't go to the same school, so I understand it. And a lot of times, I'm the one that can translate it. You know what I'm saying? So, but man, yeah, he be knowing some stuff too, though.
Okay. So I guess it's just you're not always there too, right?
Yeah.
You can't always be there. So I want to know, like, what was, because the T.I. and Tiny show was popular. I watched that even when I was in Indiana. I watched that. So, like, how was that experience being on and off that show? I know you said you spent time between your dad and your mom. So, like, how was that experience being on a reality show at such a young age with all the eyes on you, with a legendary rapper as your parent, and and T.I. and Tiny. Let me give Tiny her credit too.
Right. Man, a legendary rapper artist. We didn't take that into account. These is our parents. You know what I'm saying? I've never switched that switch on while we was recording and saying like, oh, we're recording around some legendary. Nah, ain't never. This family, this mom, this dad, and this. You know what I mean? But I will say going to school, people would watch the show, and then we would talk about it in school. People knowing us in public. It's just people knowing us, honestly. People wanting to take pictures, people knowing us, and just knowing that we got to move a little different and be aware more than we were before.
Now how is it, being? Are you around in Atlanta a lot? Like, is this mostly where you kind of spend a lot of your time, or are you kind of between different cities catching a vibe?
Nah, this is my home. I'm mostly here. Like I haven't lived anywhere else, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, I didn't know if like you kind of went to Miami or went to New York to record sometimes,
Nah. If so, maybe a week or so. But nah, I don't always lived in Atlanta and been here majority of the time, whenever I can.
So what's some of your go-to spots here? Are you biking around the city? Are you on the belt line? Like, does Domani get out and about here in the city? If you do, what spots are you hitting?
I'm going to the gym.
Okay.
I go to the gym every day. I just went this morning to the gym, the studio, the house. I like movies.
Okay.
I might go to the movie. You might see me at the movies or a restaurant sometimes. But and you may see me out sometimes. I don't know.
No,
but
kind of in between.
What takes majority of my time is me being home, me being in the gym, me being in the studio, for sure.
And being a new father now, so
yeah,
you're gonna be inside a lot.
So I'm home.
Okay. Now, can you tell us about anything you got upcoming, as far as your projects, any collaborations outside of music?
Yeah.
Like what do you have coming up?
When is this releasing?
We usually release this, I would say, probably a week or so.
Okay.
After, so probably like a week or so from now after the edit.
Yeah. So we know finna be on the road with K Camp.
Yep.
I think we got 30 dates. We got 30 days all in the U.S.
Last stop here in Atlanta?
The last stop is in Atlanta.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. We got I got 3 EPs building up to an album. One is already out. It's called Knock Knock. Yeah, man, and I'm gonna just be living life and putting it in my music until then.
Okay, cool. Now, part of being here at Georgia Followers, and we appreciate you coming, we ask every guest, because normally we interview people of the Atlanta culture, American Deli. I'm sure you've had some American Deli wings or just wings in general. Can you tell us your go-to order for American Deli if you were going there to get some wings?
Yeah, I hate to be that guy, but I stopped eating meat like probably 10 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But I overheard y'all talking about before we started the interview, like fried hard or some stuff like that.
Right.
I used to get the spicy lemon pepper.
Okay.
And I think I got all flats, if I'm not mistaken.
And you don't get no feeling no more to go back and get all flats.
No, sir.
Not at all.
Nope.
You don't got one. You just taste that grease one time in your head. You like, I miss it.
Nope. No, sir. That's real though.
Yeah, that's real. I believe you.
And then if I did, I would tear my stomach up, man. That junk would.
Nah, yeah, it probably would. Yeah, it probably do some damage now. It's been going.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all our time. We won't keep you too long, but we definitely appreciate you coming out, Domani.
Appreciate
your
y'all.
time, and this was big for us, man.
I appreciate y'all, man.
Yes,
thank y'all.
you.